I am a lucky dog, and that's because Mercedes-Benz flew us out here to the south to drive this 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLE AMG 63. It's actually a Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S. I think I got that all right, and it has, of course, 4MATIC. Now, why is that important? Because there's 603 horsepower under the hood. Damn! So this is extraordinarily powerful twin turbocharged V8 that is backed up with a 48-volt architecture hybrid system, meaning that it's somewhat efficient. Who cares? 603 horsepower is all you really should care about. So I want to take you around the vehicle, and then on this amazing road, going through these smoky-ish hills, we're going to take a little drive. So follow me. All right, first of all, you might notice, is that beautiful or what? Look at that green. Not the first color I would choose for doing a video, because I don't know if it even comes through the camera, but it is actually rather striking. One of the things you may get when you're going around the front end of this is, look, this is updated, and so is the grille. They've done a few things for 2024 to make the vehicle look more modern, a little bit more contemporary, but at the same time, you're not going to mistake it for anything else. Not that you would mistake it anyway. I mean, come on, it's Mercedes, right? But check out that emblem, and check out the grille and the way the grille is designed. Now, we are off on the side of the road, but one of the things you may notice, aside from the fact that there are Titanic-sized brakes in there, these 22-inch wheels, these are AMG. Now, this is not an AMG package. This is the AMG, meaning that the suspension, all the components underneath, the hard points, everything has been reinforced. Struts, obviously the brakes, look how big those are. All of the car has been reinforced to make it into a far more potent driver's vehicle. As such, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anything faster in its class. I'm going to show you the interior in a minute, but I wanted to show you the back because the taillight LEDs have been updated. It actually tows a little bit better now too. According to Mercedes, they've actually upgraded the package that they have. This one actually has a tow package connected to it, which is sort of astonishing considering what it is. And there's new software which makes this a better tow vehicle, according to Mercedes. And yes, these are proper tailpipes. They are proper exhaust. It's not a typical thing with a lot of Germans where they put some sort of blank thing there or fake exhaust. But what do I mean by exhaust? Well, I'm going to give the mic to the camera guy, and we're going to hear it in a second. Stay behind. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? From inside, it's kind of muted, and that's because it's Mercedes. Speaking of inside, you guys want to join me on the inside? Come on, let me show you. There have been some updates here as well. Check it out. You're going to see new colors of leather, including this chocolate color. Some slight upgrades, but this is the big deal here. Now, when I fire up the Powertrain, there we go. You're going to see two 12.3-inch screens behind a major panel here. And that means better clarity. It's more intuitive to use, according to Mercedes. A little easier to use. I will say this, the clarity is remarkable, and the navigation system works really, really well. The speedometer, not bad, but the heads-up display, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not. Let me see if I can grab this out of the cameraman's hand and get this to an angle. I think you guys might see it. It's really hard to do unless you're at this perspective, but it is one of the most information-filled head-up displays I have ever seen. I've got speed, I've got navigation, I've got other settings and everything else all there in front of me to see, which is great. You know what else is great? Proper switches going across here. Proper toggle switches. Thank you very much, Mercedes. And by the way, the feel is quite good. Yeah, actually feels like real metal or real aluminum, which I really do appreciate. And this feels like real wood. Love that. You know what else I love? Oh, 603 horsepower under the hood. Yeah. How about we pop the hood real quick and have a quick look-see underneath, and then we'll take a quick ride. All right, let's pop out. There are some differences, by the way, you may have noticed. Yep, that's where AMG handcrafts their engines. There's been a bit of a disconnect, by the way, with AMG and some of the powertrains, because some of them are AMG powertrains and some of them are AMG hand-built powertrains. Fortunately, this one is an AMG hand-built powertrain, and it is pretty damn remarkable. So what you're looking at produces 603 horsepower, and then if you punch it, the boost is 21 horsepower. It's a brief boost. 627 pound-feet of torque, hooked up to the AMG Performance 4MATIC plus all-wheel drive through a fully variable torque distribution system. 0 to 60, they estimate around 3.7 seconds. Jeez, that's fast. And it's hooked up to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And the all-wheel drive system in the vehicle has also been revised. So 4MATIC is now a little bit more driver-centric, allowing you to run through the corners, and it will more evenly distribute power across the vehicle. So that has been upgraded as well. The engine itself actually is the same as before, which is just fine because it's stupid powerful. So how about we take a little bit of a drive? Just a little bit of a spirited, but of course, legal drive. We're going to be mindful of speed, of course. But it doesn't mean we can't take off quickly. I'm so happy that Mercedes-Benz still makes vehicles that have internal combustion at a ridiculous amount of it. I mean, this is a silly powerful engine, right? And we've been driving it for a good part of the day, and it's been smooth as glass. Wonderful driving through the canyons. I managed not to make the cameraman sick. I'm going to fire it up. I want to show you something here on the steering wheel. By the way, it might be the finest steering wheel ever made. I'm still debating on that, but it's pretty damn close. Just incredible. The thickness, being able to grab, fantastic. New steering wheel design on almost everything that Mercedes has built in terms of SUVs. Now check it out down here. They're using watch technology. This side is climate control. I'm kidding, it's not. This is for your different sports settings. So, I'm in sport. Now this is changing the suspension, okay? And then on this side, I'm able to go through advanced settings. There we go. So now I'm advanced. If you look on the screen over there, everything I'm clicking here, it's putting up there as well. Let's go to advanced. Sorry. If I can get this right, there it is. Advanced. Yes. Okay. So now the vehicle is a little bit more in a sporting frame of mind. Typical to Mercedes, your gear is right here. Okay, I'm in gear. And then we'll just casually and slowly pull out onto the highway. Now, as I said before, I'm thrilled that Mercedes-Benz is still building vehicles that are internal combustion. Why? Well, let me show you. Nice and easy, almost effortless, right? And then, then it becomes an axe murderer when you put your foot down, and my God, does the power come on. Sounds amazing. The feel is just sharp, sharp, sharp. And you can actually use paddle shifters and they'll do their job. So I can actually go through this corner. It'll hold the gear. It won't freak out when I get near the red line. Woo! And then once you hit that red line, it'll shift. And this thing gets really angry, like really, really angry when you push it. It just fumes, which is, of course, great. And at the same time, you're sitting up high, but when you throw it around the corner, it kind of defies physics. Now, BMW can do this as well. They're one of the few other companies that can build a crossover SUV where you can throw it around a corner and it just grips and grips and grips. So they're both on par, but there's something about this big, angry V8 that just provides so much reward for your minor efforts. I want to keep it in, second gear all day long, just so I can hear this thing scream and I can just suck up barrels of oil. It just is super sharp responsive. And it doesn't need a dual clutch. It doesn't need anything like that. This 9-speed is way more than accurate, and it's quick. Shifts are smooth. And the minute I tell the gearbox that I want to downshift, it doesn't argue with me unless I'm going near red line. Now bear in mind that's in the setting that I'm in. Yeah, it doesn't mind doing its little Schnell bit so quickly. So you guys might be asking, well, what's the point of driving a vehicle like this, especially in this beautiful environment, if it's just going to go up and away and we're going to be dealing with nothing but electric vehicles in the future? Well, that is a really good question, and I have an answer. It's not happening that soon. Mercedes is bringing out several electric vehicles. As a matter of fact, recently in Spain, plenty of other journalists went out and drove a few of these electric things and had a really good time. But Mercedes-Benz was very, very on point, I would say, when they said, yeah, we're building those and we're building internal combustion vehicles. So at least for the immediate future, I wouldn't worry too much about these things going away, which is great. Now, I bet you're asking questions like, well, it's an AMG, so it's going to be really expensive, isn't it? Yeah. Now, the price will be at the bottom of the screen for the current model. Bear in mind, this is the 2024 model, so the pricing has not been released yet. But it's probably not going to be any cheaper than it was before. So this is a special toy that certain types of people get. Now, by the way, I'm going to give you a quick little example. I have two cousins, and they're both older than old men. And one of them is a top attorney, and the other one owns a bunch of wrecking yards. And the one who they're both like totally different guys, right? But they have very similar tastes about certain things, including quality cars, and they would both adore this. And one more thing about those guys, they both actually have the same name I do. Haha, yeah, that's right, cousins. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. I am having way too much fun, but I guess it's time for me to say adieu. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.